yung i-discuss natin is the art of asking using the Socratic method para maka-close ng premium client. Okay? So sige, start tayo. And before we start, just a disclaimer, hindi ako expert sa subject na to. What I'm just gonna be sharing with you guys are just based from the books that I've read and kung ano yung nag-work sa team namin. Okay? So eto yung books na binasa ko, and then try ko lang ngayon i-compile into one na nagawa naming framework for our team. Okay, sige, start. Now, eto yung burning questions na itatackle natin one by one. So, meron tayong 6 na questions. So, okay, let's start. Why asking question is a powerful sales technique? Ito yung pinaka-common na question palagi, especially if you are a newbie na freelance or ikaw yung bago pa lang na gustong maging value-based designer instead of an executioner. Kasi most of the designers that I know here in the Philippines is that yung feeling nila na pinakamatinding sales technique is showing clients their portfolio. And for me, that's the one weakest technique kung magbebenta ka sa isang client. And yung pinaka-powerful talaga is yung asking questions. So, yun nga, why asking question is a powerful sales technique. So, eto yung sabi ni Carl Jung, to ask the right question is already half the solution of the problem. So, what do he mean by this? So, yun nga, Socratic method yung gagamitin natin of asking questions or high-level questions. Now, Socratic method originated from Socrates, isang philosopher, Greek philosopher. And then, ito yung Socratic method is a method of thoughtful questioning that enables people to examine ideas and be able to determine the validity of those ideas. So, yun nga guys, yung keyword dito is that they examine their own ideas or your ideas and i-determine kung fit or determine the validity of those ideas. Kumbaga, the best way to describe this is that you're just asking questions to clients so that they can sell their ideas to themselves. Ina-examine nila yung ideas nila based on your question and then i-determine nila kung valid ba yun sa belief nila or sa problem nila. So, yun yung Socratic method. Okay? So, diretso tayo guys. Now, asking is a powerful sales technique because number one, people are inclined to answer when they're asked with a question. Okay? For some weird reason, ganyan talaga tayo palagi. When we are asked any question, talagang sasagot tayo. Kahit nga medyo mali yung sagot natin. Say for example, tatanungin ka na, "Oy, kumain ka na?" Tas minsan, busog pa ako eh. Pero, yun nga, you are still inclined to answer. Even though your answer was vague. Even though you would have to answer yes or no. Pero yun nga din, people are always inclined to answer questions. Kaya, powerful sales technique siya. Okay? Kasi it's always like that. People are inclined to answer questions. Number two pala is that questions opens the mind while statement closes the mind. So, say for example, tanungin ko kayo guys, if nakapanood na kayo ng Spider-Man No Way Home, pag tanungin ko kayo ngayon ng, guys, what was your favorite part of the movie sa No Way Home? Most probably guys is that you guys will definitely imagine, ano nga ba yung favorite part ko dun? As compared to me, uy guys, alam nyo ba na andun sila Tobey Maguire and then Andrew Garfield. Sorry sa pagiging spoiler. Pero anyways, yun nga, like compared na mag-state lang, yung mangyayari talaga is that you guys will not think na ganun. Kasi yun nga, questions opens the mind while statement closes the mind. And then yung last reason why asking is a powerful sales technique is that it allows us to sell the client's ideas to themselves without needing to forcibly convince them. So what do you mean by this? Say for example, pag gumagamit tayo ng power of what if, hey client, what if we try using a landing page for your business to increase your conversion? Instead of me saying na, client, gamitin mo yung landing page kasi yan yung mare-recommend ko. Hindi yan, most of the time, hindi yan mag-work. Pero if you use the what if word, and then i-formulate mo lang siya as a question, what if we use a landing page? Yung mangyayari, guys, is that they will examine it in themselves kung fit ba, and then they will sell that specific idea to themselves. O nga, no, fit pala yung landing page sa business ko. So yun, again, asking question allows us to sell the client's ideas to themselves. And that's why it's a powerful sales technique. What are the other benefits of learning the art of asking in freelance business? So ano nga ba yung benefits sa atin? Kasi we are freelancers. So, eto yung benefits sa atin. Number one, it allows us to get a clear understanding of the client's problem. Number two is that it helps us establish rapport with the client. Now, people might say, bakit yung iba na yung client pag tanong ako ng tanong? Well, some clients are like that. Pero most of the clients, if you ask questions and just, and just be quiet and then listen actively, like actively listen talaga, you would establish rapport kasi nga they feel that they are heard. That's the reason why asking questions and then just being quiet helps you in establishing rapport with the client kasi they would feel that they are heard. They would feel that they are understood. Okay? So yun yung reason or yun yung parang rationalization why it helps in establishing rapport. And then pangatlo is it allows you to handle sales objections. Now, yung question nyo, paano ma-handle yung sales objections kung nagtatanong ka lang ng question? Yun nga. Say for example, you ask something na, hey, my price is $5,000 for doing this 5 landing pages. Is this something that's within your, within the budget that you're hoping to invest? So you notice, guys, nag-ask ako ng question, and then pag sabi ni client, that's too much for me. Okay? Pwede kong i-handle. Okay, what or how much is your budget then? See, na-handle mo yung objection in such a way na nag-a-ask ka lang ng questions. So yan yung third benefit of asking questions. It allows you to handle sales objections in such a way na mas na-probe mo or mas nadidig deeper mo yung talaga, yung totoong reason bakit ayaw nilang makipagtrabaho sa'yo. Okay? So, number 4, it is that it allows you to control the flow of conversation. Medyo vague yung explanation na to, pero sabi pa nga ng ibang mga sales master, say for example si Zig Ziglar, is that sabi niya palagi is that the one who asks the most question controls the conversation. Kasi nga you can drive the conversation in such a way na kung saan mo gustong mapunta. Medyo vague siya kasi kailangan siya ng experience, pero yun nga, the last benefit is that you can control the flow of conversation by simply asking. So ngayon sabihin natin ayaw niya ng Spider-Man, or sabihin natin ayaw ng gulay yung isang bata. Just by asking the child why he or she doesn't want the vegetable, you can actually control the conversation na parang pwede mong magawa na maging gusto niya yung vegetable. Pero again, it requires experience. Kaya hindi ko siya ma-explain fully. Kasi nga, kahit ako nahihirapan pa rin ng ganun. Anyways, I hope you guys you guys understood what I am trying to say. Ito yung third question. How will you know if you are asking the right question? Yung answer lang dyan is that it's when you have a clear understanding of what it is that the client really needs. So, again, kung clear na sa'yo, kumbaga, medyo mahirap siyang sagutin, pero kung dun mo na talaga, kumbaga magkaroon ka ng overall picture kung ano yung problema ng client, ano yung need niya, paano masosolve yun, in such a way na pwede mo nang ma-present sa kanya in a simple way, that means that, nakuha mo na lahat yung sagot, and then you've asked the right questions. And yun, just a disclaimer, again, it will be difficult at first to measure because it requires practice and experience. Kaya last year, when we were doing the collab calls, yung ginagawa namin is that we have this type of scenario and then nagkakaroon ng mock discovery session. Bakit? Para ma-experience ng mga nagko-collab call na paano nga ba mangyari yung tawag nito, yung discovery session, and then para masana yung tenga nila and then yung brain nila mag-process ng pag-ask ng great or high value questions, and at the same time, ma-practice sila and then maging more confident. Again, to answer this, it really requires experience and then practice. Good news, guys. Para mas ma-practice natin, we have a framework that we can use as a guide to ask better questions. Kasi ito yung nagiging problem palagi eh. Like, okay, medyo mahirap naman yun, Errol, na kailangan magkaroon ako ng clear understanding. Paano yun? Now, here's a good news for you guys. We have a framework that we can use as a guide to ask better questions. Kumbaga, if you follow this guide, if you follow these set of questions, yung mangyayari near to full yung makukuha mong answers from the clients, and then magkakaroon ka kaagad ng clear understanding kung ano yung problema nila. Okay? So, diretso tayo sa framework. Is there a framework we can use for asking the right questions? Yes, we have. We have a framework, and yung gagawin natin, guys, is that meron tayong mga references. Saan nga ba nanggaling yung framework natin? Okay? Saan nga ba nanggaling yung framework natin? So, sa first is from the Golden Circle of Simon Sinek as a reference. Okay? So, yung ginagawa natin, guys, is that yung most problem ng ibang freelancers, kaya hindi sila nakaka-close ng ng premium clients, is that they always ask the what and then the how. Yung kumbaga kabaliktaran yung tinatanong nila. Like say for example, yung ibang mga freelancers, okay, do you have any inspiration of the design that you want? So say for example, mag-approach si client, hey Errol, can you help me redesign my website? Now, instead of asking the why, yung ginagawa ng ibang freelancers is that yung first question nila, okay, I'd be able to help. Is there any reference that you can give me? Or can you give me your website so that I can look at it? Mga ganun. So that right there is already not really wrong, but somewhat, newbie mistake. And then, yung iba naman nagtatanong ng how. How do you want this to look like? Mga ganun. Mga mid-level questions. So, eto yung reference natin. Sabi ni Simon Sinek, for us to really have a clear understanding, kailangan mag-start tayo ng questions ng why, how, and then what. Kasi pag maintindihan natin yung purpose nila, yung motivation nila for something, yung mangyayari, mas magiging easy sa atin na itanong yung mga how. Kumusta yung performance? Kasi alam natin na mayroon talagang deeper problem. So yan yung first reference natin. Yung Golden Circle ni Simon Sinek. Again, it's for us to really know na they know that there's an existing problem. We start with why so that we would know their motivation. Kasi may iba talaga guys na clients na tawag ko dun is that time vampires. Yung tipo na magtatanong sa'yo magkano yung charge mo, tapos pagtatanungin mo na, hindi pala ganun ka-interesado. Pero if you ask the motivation or the belief, mag-start ka sa why, malalaman mo na yung client hindi talaga seryoso. So, hindi ka makakapag-waste ng time mo. So, yun yung purpose bakit eto yung first natin, yung we start with why, yung Golden Circle ni Simon Sinek. And then next is yung kay Michael Bongay Steiner as reference. So, meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Meron tayong 9 questions na tinuro niya. Now, yung kick-off, what's on your mind? So, vague yan siya. Vague lang yan siya. And then, you would also notice na pagpupunta kayo sa Facebook wall nyo, and then if you try to type in a status, yung parang field doon, nakalagay lang, what's on your mind. Kasi nga, it's something to kick off. Kasi di ba yung iba, nagkakaroon ng problema na, ay shit, paano kaya ako makakapag-establish ng rapport? Paano ko, sabihin natin, nag-discovery session na kami, syempre, sa simula niyan, mag-greeting yan eh. Hey client, how's the weather there? Paano ko i-transition yung discovery session in such a way na mapapag-usapan namin yung business niya? That's very easy. You start with a kick-off question. How's the weather there, client? That's great. And by the way, client, what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about? See? Ganun lang kasimple. So meron tayong 9 questions. We start with a kick-off. Next is the question or the what else and what else. So client, what's on your mind? Well, ganito yung problem ko. Anything else that you'd like to add from that one problem? Okay. Then next is what's the real challenge here? And then why? And then next is foundation. And then action, support, commitment, prioritization, and then close. So, eto yung mga framework na gagamitin natin. Those frameworks, yung kay Simon Sinek and then kay Michael Bongay-Stainer, yung goal natin dun is that our goal is just to really help clients gain self-awareness, helping them help themselves. That's why it's called discovery session. That's why yung references natin are just used for discovering. Discovery phase lang, discovery session. Tinatanong lang natin kung ano yung goal nila, ano yung possible challenges nila, or ano yung current challenges nila, ano yung magiging possible challenges, ano yung makakasira ng focus nila. So again, self-awareness lang. Kasi once people or clients have self-awareness, once meron silang focus, talagang malabo na ma-miss yung target nila kahit sales pa man yan. So, dyan pa lang sa discovery, dapat masyado tayong todo filter. So, yun. Now, ikukombine na natin yung references. So, meron tayong tinatawag na levels of questions. Okay? And eto yung levels of questions natin. Kumbaga, etong levels of questions, parang ginawa na lang nating hagdanan. So, titingnan natin, guys, from top, yung high-level questions, siya yung pinakamalaking impact. 'Di ba? Kumbaga, mas mahaba siya. Kasi guys, yan yung kumbaga, pwede natin sabihin na yung haba niyan is that ganyan din kahaba yung doubt ng client sa'yo and then sa sarili niya. So, yung goal natin is mas lumiit yung doubt niya sa'yo and then doubt sa decision niya. Kaya tinatanong natin yung why, how, and then what. So, high-level questions tayo, transition question, mid-level questions, low-level questions, measurement question, and then lastly, closing question. Kasi guys, yung first natin is to really understand or help them understand na kailangan na ba yung ganitong service or hindi pa. And then itra-transition natin hanggang makuha natin yung lahat. So, eto yung itsura ng levels of question. So, yun. For the high-level questions, yung purpose nito is for them to self-reflect and then for you to pre-qualify the client kung talagang fit ba. And then lastly is to assess urgency. Kasi guys, walang silbi na makuha mo yung why niya tas wala naman palang urgency. So, Errol, I want to redesign my website. Okay, how soon do you want to have the website done? Well, I want it 10 years from now. Magugutom ka ng 10 years, di ba? Walang urgency yun. So, dyan pa lang guys, if you-filter mo na, okay, urgent ba to? Baka hindi. So, hindi ko sasayahan oras ko. Yung iba kasi, tanong lang ng tanong, diretso sulat ng proposal, tapos end up, magre-reklamo. Naku, yung client ko, hindi na nag-reply sa akin, nagbigay ako ng proposal, nag-spend pa naman ako ng 8 hours, tapos, hindi na nag-reply, nag-ghost na. Gago. Hindi ka kasi nagtanong ng how soon eh. 'Di ba? Pero kung natanong mo yun, how soon do you need this website? Would it be helpful if I create, a quote for you on how much you would have to invest for this website? Diba? Pag sabihin ni client na 10 years, then why would you waste your time creating a proposal kung hindi naman talaga kailangan like tomorrow ka agad, diba? I mean, kung 10 years pa yan, why would you spend your time? Sayang lang yun. Diba? Huwag kayong magreklamo kung hindi nyo naman ginawa yung part nyo sa pagtanong ng questions. Kung ginost kayo, one way or another, you missed something there. Okay? So next is disruption thinking pattern. Mamaya ipapakita ko sa inyo paano yung transition question. Kasi yun nga eh, kailangan natin i-disrupt yung thinking nila. And then yung mga performance questions, yung customer journey, identification of the needs, and then you summarize the findings and then presenting of solutions. And then i-identify mo yung budget. Guys, discovery session, you'd have to identify the budget. Again, ito na naman yung problema ng ibang freelancers. Magdi-discovery question. Yung iba, magdi-discovery session, tapos pagtatanungin ko, konting tanong lang, oh, so, natanong mo kung magkano yung budget? Ay, hindi pa, pero gumawa na ako ng proposal. Sinayang mo oras mo. Diba? Kasi, guys, kailangan yung tanungin yung budget. Bakit? Kasi baka magsulat kayo ng proposal tapos ilagay nyo $10,000 yung budget tapos only to find out yung budget ni client $100 lang. Eh, both kayo nagsayang ng oras. Diba? Pero pag sinabi ni client na, okay, ganito yung budget ko, $100, eh gumawa ka ng proposal na for $100 lang. Okay, wireframe. Diba? Parang ganun. So see, sa discovery pa lang, you'd have to identify the budget. And then you'd also have to set proper expectation. Client, if mag-work tayo together, yung support hours ko hanggang 7 p.m. lang. Pag mag-message ka sa akin ng 1 a.m., tulog na ako. Okay lang ba sa'yo yun na magre-reply ako by tomorrow pa or the next day? Kasi pag sabihin, no, you'd have to reply to me 24/7. Okay, bayaran mo ako 1 million. Parang ganun. See? So you'd have to set proper expectation then during the discovery. Yung last is yung closing, get the payment details. So dito sa levels of question, para mas ma-grasp natin to, what we'll do is we will have a scenario mamaya. Okay? Ipapakita ko sa inyo paano yung scenario ng paggamit nito. But before that, unahin muna natin yung burning question na to, yung how to dig deeper without making the prospect uncomfortable. Paano nga ba natin daw i-handle? Before that, yung gagawin natin, magkakaroon tayo ng common mistake na ginagawa ng ibang freelancers. And these common mistake will make the client uncomfortable. So ano yun? Ito yung common mistake. Bombarding clients with questions without acknowledging their prior answers. Effects. Ano yung effects niya? Again, without acknowledging their prior answers. Ito yung effect, makes you sound like a robot. Number 2, it makes the client feel that you just want a transactional relationship. Errol, ano yung meaning mo? Ano yung hindi ina-acknowledge? Ina-acknowledge ko naman sila. Okay, ito yung ginagawa ng ibang freelancer. Ito yung example scenario. So first question, what's the one call to action that you want your audience to do inside your website? And then ito yung sabi ni client, well, I want my customers to book a call with me so I can ask them pre-qualifying questions and see what their pain points are. And then ito yung gagawin ng most freelancers. Okay, how are you attracting customers right now? As you can see guys, hindi nyo naman in-acknowledge yung niya, yung prior answer. Yung acknowledgement nyo is, okay, if titingnan nyo sa haba-haba ng sagot niya, i-reply nyo okay and then diretso tanong. Now guys, question, be honest with yourself. Are you also doing this in the past? Sabihin na lang natin in the past para hindi ganun kasakit. So, yun actually yung most reason why clients are being annoyed and bakit nafe-feel nila ng tanong ka lang ng tanong. Kasi nga, you are not acknowledging them or it's not really making them comfortable with you. Kasi nga, you're not acknowledging them. Guys, what we can do is we can acknowledge their answers, repeat their answers in such a way na own words natin, and we give out our own opinion before moving to your next question. Guys, yung pinakamagandang mga example na to is that watch The Blacklist sa Netflix, and then observe yung way of questioning ni Raymond Reddington, yung isang character doon, kasi para siyang psychotherapist. Most therapists are using this way of asking questions and at the same time parang session nila. So mamaya ipapakita ko sa inyo. Now ano yung effect kung gagawin natin na mag-acknowledge tayo ng answers ng clients? It will make the discovery session more conversational. And then it would make the client feel that you are really there to understand them. And lastly, it will make the client trust you. Ito yung example scenario. Ulitin natin, what's the one call to action, blah, blah, blah. And then, ito yung sabi ni client, I want my customers to book a call with me so I can ask them pre-qualifying questions and see what their pain points are. So yung ginawa natin, see what their pain points are. Tiningnan natin yung parang keyword na yun, see what their pain points are, and then in-acknowledge natin yun, and then binigay natin yung own words natin, and then nagbigay tayo ng own opinion natin. So paano yun? Yung iba, ginagawa nila is looks like, sounds like, seems like. Yan yung mga psychotherapist or mga therapist. It's always like that. Say for example, parang uncomfortable yung isang client na makipag-usap. I feel it feels like you're uncomfortable talking to me. It sounds like you're annoyed. Parang ganun. If titingnan nyo, hindi ako nagsasabi ng I feel like, I noticed, mga ganun. Ginagamit na it feels like para hindi nila ma-feel na sila yung pinapatamaan mo. It feels like the atmosphere change because you farted. Parang ganun. Anyways. So yun. Sounds like you really want to make sure that you can give out a customized solution to their problem. And then next question ka na. And how are you attracting your audience right now? So ganun yung pag-acknowledge sa mga clients. Sounds like you really want to make sure that you have a customized solution to their problem. And how are you attracting them? So yung mangyayari, magiging conversational na yung discovery session nyo. Kasi nga, nag-acknowledge ka and at the same time, nagpro-proceed ka ng question mo. So yung mafe-feel nila is that, okay, nakikinig yung kausap ko. Tapos, magsasagot na naman sila, hanap ka na naman ng keyword and then acknowledge and then question ka na naman. Ganun dapat yung discovery question. Yung ganitong technique, yung kay Chris Voss, tawag niya dito is labeling. Nililabel niya. Sounds like blah blah. Parang ganun. So, yun. Paano yung probing question methods? Kasi, yung isang problem is ganito. Errol, paano yun? Natanong ko na nga yung why me, why now, why this. And then tendency, pag andun na ako magtatanong na ako ng the fit test, yung what one call to action do you want your audience to do in your website, na ano'y pa rin si client. Nag-acknowledge naman ako pero sinasabihin lang ako ng grabe, ang dami mong tanong, mga ganyan. So, yung gagawin natin guys is that we can use two techniques. We kickstart with the no na question. I learned this from Alex Hormozy. You can follow him on YouTube. Maganda yung YouTube niya. YouTube videos, I mean. And then yung echo questions. Echo questions came from Michael Bongay Steiner. So yes, yun yung mga references if you really want to dig deeper into asking high value questions. Those people, you can follow them. Paano nga ba yung kickstart with the no? So yung kickstart with the no, guys, is that this is a question to transition high-level questions to mid-level question. Pre-framing to. So guys, yung goal natin dito is to make them say no. We want them to say no to us. As in, hindi yes, no. So we can disrupt their thought process and control the whole conversation. Kasi yung meaning talaga ng no is not over or next opportunity. So yung goal lang talaga natin dito is let them say no. Okay? So paano yun mag-work? Example scenario. Say for example, sabihin natin, hey client, why do you need a website now? Why do you want to redesign your website? I have a problem with sales. Why now? Because my competitors are getting ahead of me. And why do you want me to do the website design? Well, I saw your portfolio. And how soon do you need this done? I need it by tomorrow. Okay, so ganito yung style mo. Okay, it sounds like client, this is an urgent project that needs to be solved. And for sure, we don't want to spend on things that's not gonna add value to your business. Are we or do we? So yung mangyayari sa kanila, tama nga naman. Sabihin, pag tanungin mo yung client or kung sino pa man, sigurado naman na ayaw mong mag-spend ng malaking pera, di ba? Sabihin yan, ayaw ko talagang mag-spend ng malaking pera. So ganun lang, like, and we don't want to spend a lot of money on things that's not going to add value to your business, are we? So sabihin yan, no, of course, or no, of course not. So next mo is transition ka na. Okay, gotcha. Would you mind if I ask further questions? so I can fully understand what are the things that's needed to improve your business. So yan yung way mo to kickstart with the no. Yan yung kickstart with the no. Papasagutin mo sila ng no para hindi sila mag-mind na magtanong ka pa ng mas maraming questions. Okay? So yan lang yung kickstart with the no. Yun nga, after the disruption question and then pag mag-okay na si client, we proceed with the fit test na questions. Yung what's the one call to action? How are you attracting your audience? What's the performance? How's your follow-up? Churva, mga ganun. So, yun. Now, echo questions naman, guys, is that ina-expand mo lang. Expander question used to make clients expand their thoughts, explain their definition of a term we don't understand. So yun, may mga clients na nag-uusap-usap or nakikipag-usap na hindi mo maintindihan yung meaning nila. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Kasi minsan, yes nang yes lang tayo. So there's a technique that we can use, yung echo question na para mas ma-explain nila. So yun, let's start. Again, scenario, one call to action. Then sabihin na, I want my customers to book a call with me so I can ask them pre-qualifying questions. So echo question is pre-qualifying questions. So si client, gagawin niya is, basically, I want to make sure that they really need my service, so I need to know how committed they are. So yan yung echo question. You find a certain keyword, and then, say for example, kahit yung see what their pain points are. Pain points. Question mark. I can ask them pre-qualifying questions. Pre-qualifying questions. What do you mean? So, yun. Mag-i-explain yan sa clients. Yung goal ko is maintindihan yung client or yung isang tao. So, yun. Pwede mong gamitin din yan pag may mga terms na hindi mo maintindihan. Again, you can use the kickstart with the no. Ito yung mga probing questions. And then, yung next is yung echo questions. Yung paggamit ng same words just by adding question mark. Okay? So, guys, last na tayo. How would the framework be applied during the discovery session? Discovery session using the levels of questions. Again, guys, this is just a warning. This is more effective if you have a clear understanding of customer journey. Kasi once you understand the customer journey, yung discovery session would be super valuable, and then at the same time, sobrang bilis lang makaklose ng clients. The least you could do is acknowledge the answers of your potential clients. And then, yun nga, for every questions that you ask, and and be human when talking to them. Kasi guys, mamaya makikita nyo yung script paano gamitin, and this script will not really save you if you'll just sound like a robot. So yun, use the script as a guide. Don't just copy and paste. Huwag maging tamad, don't be lazy. And then kung magagawa nyo, like kung gusto nyo i-screenshot yung mga scripts, screenshot nyo, pero wag nyo namang kopyain lang, tweak it, like edit it in such a way na it would make, it would sound like you. Hindi, like, as long as the pattern is there, okay lang. Yung goal dito is i-tweak mo sa mga certain, certain mannerisms mo, pero yun nga, as much as possible, number one, acknowledge their answers when you ask them questions, and number two, don't just copy and paste the script, don't sound like a robot, and then at the same time, i-tweak nyo yung script para maging sa inyo yung script, hindi yung hindi yung kokopyahin nyo lang. I mean, okay lang kumopya, pero kumbaga, still like an artist. Okay? Copy, edit it, and make it your own. So yun. Diretso tayo. Okay. Kick-off question, kunyari lang, sabihin natin, nag-schedule na ng discovery session. Hey client, how's the weather there? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's sunny and at the same time cold here. Okay. So client, can you tell me what's on your mind? What do you want to talk about now? So ayan, sasabi na si client, well, blah, 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 ganito yung blah, 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 ganito yung gusto ko, kailangan ko ng web design, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So client, for this web design or web design project, what business challenge are you wanting to solve with this? Is it, are you wanting to increase your leads, maybe sales, maybe customer retention? So yun, sasagot na naman si client. So etong what business challenge are you wanting to solve is the why this, okay? Then next is, okay, client, I definitely understand that, you really want to increase your leads. And how soon do you need this web design to be implemented in your business? Well, I want it to be implemented as soon as possible, maybe next month. Okay? So next month daw, okay. Sige. Ayun, okay, may urgency. Okay. And what's the impact on your business if this project will be delayed? Sabihin natin, client, magte-take siya ng 6 months. What's gonna happen? Well, my competitors will definitely be ahead of me. So as you can see guys, pinapakita ko sa kanila yung consequences. What's the impact on your business if this project's gonna be delayed? Kasi kung ma-delay yan, for sure malaki yung mawawalang pera sa kanila. And then this is also for you to see if there's any urgency for the project. Okay? And then lastly is, client, what's your decision criteria when working with someone to help you with this? So bakit ka nagtatanong ng decision criteria? Kasi baka question ka ng question dyan pero hindi ka naman pala qualified. Okay? Sabihin natin, most of the time guys, yung decision criteria talaga ng mga client is number 1, alam nila na magde-deliver ka. Number 2, strategic thinker ka. And number 3, nagko-communicate ka. Kasi walang silbi yan kung hindi ka nagko-communicate. So sabihin natin, nagtanong ka na, well, what's your decision criteria when working with a freelancer to help you with this? Bakit? Bakit mo tinanong siya? Kasi nga, yun nga din, kung hindi ka talaga fit, you can refer it to someone else. Kasi you would still help the client. Okay, client, hindi ko talaga yung ganito. Would you mind if I refer you to someone else that fits to your decision criteria? So, mas ma-appreciate nila. And don't be afraid to refer people. Reciprocity will win. Okay? Huwag kayong maging scarcity minded. Okay? Babalik at babalik yung blessing. So, kung kailangan mong i-refer mo yan. Huwag kang maging client hoarder. Tao ka lang. Okay? So, yun. Yan yung high level question. Now, the next is we kickstart with a no. Okay, I definitely understand na ganito pala yung problema mo. You want to increase your leads and kung hindi natin ma-implement yung website ng sakto or kung ma-delay, mas malaki yung mawawalang sales. And for sure, client, we don't want to spend on things that's not gonna add value to your business, are we? Or do we? Yeah, of course not. Ayoko talaga, Errol, na mag-spend ng malaking pera kasi nga, malaki din yung investment agad. Okay, and mind if I ask further questions so I'll know how I can better be of help to you? Mas ma-dive deeper ko kung ano talaga yung overall scope ng project na to. Okay lang ba yun, client? Yeah, for sure. Kasi ayoko naman talaga mag-spend ng malaking pera. What's the one call to action you want your audience to do on your website? Yun, I want them to book a call with me. Okay. And how are you attracting them right now? Are you using ads or SEO? Bale, sumasayo lang ako sa TikTok. And then meron akong OnlyFans. Okay, sige. Pero, may plan ka mag-ads? Yes, may plan ako mag-ads, Facebook ads. Okay, at least. And then next is, and so far, kumusta yung performance sa OnlyFans? Kumusta yung performance mo sa pagsasayaw sa TikTok? Ilan yung na-attract mong clients? Next is, what's your follow-up strategy? And by the way, client, for the people na hindi pa ready bumili sa'yo, ano yung follow-up strategy mo? Well, wala akong follow-up strategy. See? So guys, dun pa lang nalalaman mo na, okay, kailangan pala din ng email marketing to. So pwede kong dalhin yung team ko. So dun, yun yung fit test. And then, next is diagnosis plus the power of what if. So yun, sounds like you're wanting to achieve blank through blank, and here's my thoughts on this. And then, what if we? Okay? So, eto na. So client, it sounds like you're wanting to get more signups to your group coaching through your website. And here's my thoughts on this. Based on what you've mentioned, we don't have enough data yet since the ads that you've ran in the past didn't get you enough results yet. And we're also unclear yet what specific lead magnet we can use to get your audience's contact information. So nire-repeat mo, sinasummarize mo kung anong sinabi niya. Ano yung mga nakuha mong information. And then next is, you sell the what if, or you use the power of what if. Now guys, this is how you sell consulting. Instead of sabihin, na what if we use a landing page. Now, this time, kasi sabi niya, wala pang lead magnet, and then at the same time, wala pang masyadong data yung Facebook. So, pwede mong sabihin na, what if we have a consulting engagement first, because I'd love to get your money to build your website, but I prefer having a long-term business relationship with you. So I'd much rather do a competitive analysis first and see how we can lower your ad cost by finding what lead magnets to test. So dyan guys, like hindi ka nagbenta ng website, nagbenta ka lang ng research. That's how you sell lead generation consulting. Now, the next is pag sabihin ni client na okay, sounds good to me na mag-consulting muna tayo. Diretso ko sa budget and KPI. Client, and what's the range that are you hoping to invest on this project? Probably $500. See, $500 for consulting. And then lastly is, okay, client, that sounds great. $500 sounds fair. And how will we measure if this engagement is adding value to your business? As you know, I don't want to have a negative impact on your business, so I just want to set a proper expectation. So, yun, client, how would we measure if we are moving forward or if we are having a positive progress? Sabihin ni client, well, yung gusto ko lang talaga is mas maintindihan ko kung ano yung problema sa business ko. As you know, wala akong oras magbasa. Ikaw yung nagbabasa ng libro ni Russell Brunson. So yun, you ask them how you guys could measure this. So yun yung budget and KPI. And lastly, invoicing details, closing question. Ito yung pinakamali. Most common question ng ibang freelancers is, ganito yung question nila pag mag-invoice na, hey client, can I invoice you? Which is not good, bad practice. Bakit? Kasi client could say na, no, you cannot. Hey client, can I invoice you? No, you cannot. Diba? They could say no. Pero kung ganito yung invoicing details or pagtanong mo, hey client, on what email shall I send the invoice to? So we can get this thing started. Hindi mo na din kailangan sabihin sa client na, by the way client, I need 50% upfront, blah, blah, blah. Tanungin mo lang, hey client, on what email shall I send the invoice to? Diyan pa lang guys, parang proper expectation na, client, kailangan ko ng upfront payment, saan ko isa-send yung invoice. Kasi kung baga hindi pa gets ni client, magtatanong naman yan, okay, how much should I pay upfront? Ganyan yung mga tanong ng client. Well, I usually collect 50% upfront. Pero yun, if you're gonna be invoicing clients, ito yung tanong mo, on what email shall I send the invoice to so we can get this thing started? Or kahit wala na yung so we can get this thing started, on what email shall I invoice to? So yan yung closing question. Anyway, so yun lang guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with me.